Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Working on the rat rod again. Show you what I got done so far. I cut out the rest of the firewall, both sides. Still have some trimming to do. And then we go to the other side. Got the firewall cut out on this side. And I retained this one, and I'll show you why inside. I cut the steering column. It was mounted here originally, and that was at the wrong angle because it kind of pitched backwards, and I needed it to pitch the opposite way. So I cut it most of the way around, and then I just left a little tab so that it would pivot on that, and then I threw a couple tacks in it. I made a couple of brackets here, tack welded them onto this tube, and I just made those tabs out of something I found already had holes in them. I had enough to make all three, so went ahead and did that. And then I cut this piece off. This is what originally bolted, or the column bolted to. I cut it and mounted it right there. I just tacked it on for now. I'll add some structure here in a little bit. And then I threw the old instrument cluster thing up there. I cut it up a little bit, trying to see if I could get it to fit. Don't really like it. I think I'm going to do a traditional Jeep dashboard, just a flat, and then I'll make a cone to come up to here maybe. These are just thoughts out loud. But today what I'm doing is I'm going to cut out these panels, at least the two lower ones, and see how that goes. So let's take a look. I'm going to use the Eastwood Bead Roller. Got to change the dies out, so I'll show you that too. But here's the sheet metal. I already went ahead and measured everything and marked it out on this. All I have is 16 gauge metal, so everything I'm making 16 gauge. Way heavier than it should be, but it's a Jeep. I don't have to make many shapes, so that's cool. Here's the driver's side firewall, and this is why I saved that. I'm going to drill this out and sandblast that and powder coat it, and I'll reattach it to the new firewall, which would be in that upper piece. And then where that drive shaft come through, I'm going to have to make something fancy there. And I'm not going to have to worry about the master cylinder because that's going under the frame rail. But one piece at a time. So we're going to cut these two out, and then we're going to bead roll them. So time lapse, here we go. Okay, so I wrote top front on there. This will be facing the engine. This will be married to the side, so there's nothing going to happen here. No bead rolls. Yes, there will be a bead roll here. There will be a small one. The top is going to marry to another one. Two of these tape widths, this is 3/4 and this is 1.5 inches. So two of these is going to be roughly, if I go where this is going to marry to another panel, if I put this on this side, okay, this one is also going to marry to what's already existing there, I think. I'm going to be welding that, but it already has a lot of meat. So what I'm trying to do is keep the can't talk and work at the same time. That's why time lapse is so good. So I like time lapse. I can just work and not have to think while I'm talking or think while I'm working about what to say. Okay, so those two. Now here, this is the end of the firewall. Okay, so what I want to do here, I think, is go with 1.5 inches piece. Okay, because this is going to be where the firewall is. So see how this will be. If I do this to the other panel, it'll be the same width as this. Okay, Now the bottom is also, that's the end of the bottom. There's not going to be connected to another panel, so I'm going to 1.5 inch that one as well. Okay, so there's my lines. Now, so I can keep my radiuses all the same, I'm thinking, let's see, I don't know. Let's see what a good radius is. I've got a couple radiuses right here. This is the one I was using. I believe this one's 6-inch OD. Yep, and ID is 3.5. So let's just see what 3.5 looks like. I don't think that looks too bad. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so then we can just keep this right here on the table and keep all our radiuses the same. I could just use the tape as a straight edge, but I want to take it off and try it freehand first. This one, I'm starting with this one because for the most part this thing's going to be covered up. The heater box, the coil is going over, or the air conditioning coil and the heater core is going over it. So most of it will be covered up. All right. I'll DA sand it later, not too worried about what it's going to happen to it right now. All right, let's make this panel go in. Okay, here we go. Well, they say start in the middle, don't start on a corner. Okay, I'm going to go as tight as she'll go, which is right about there. Alright, that looks pretty cool. Okay, there's one. All right, so that went pretty good. Not as deep as I want, but I think I'll order some stepper dies and get a little better depth. But let's go see what it looks like on the Jeep. Yeah, that looks good. Close enough for who it's for. Okay, so I'm going to do the other one the same way.